going on, Jerome's? So the quarterback position has been in flux this offseason for the Vikings. Kirk Cousins, he gone. And the Vikings signed Sling and Sam Darnold, $10 million deal for 1 year. And then drafting J. McCarthy, number 10 overall. And also Nick Mullins is a veteran who does have experience in the Kevin O'Connell system, can throw the ball vertically. Sometimes he throws it to the other team. All right, so that's where we are. But with all the talk of those three quarterbacks, what about the fourth one? What about Jaren Hall, last year's fifth-round pick out of BYU, the Mormon Missile, all that stuff, and a little bit older of a prospect coming in, former baseball player, and you're thinking, okay. Also, this was lazy analysis by everyone, including myself. Well, he wore number 3. He's sort of short and stocky. He's got a good deep ball. Could he be like a younger/older version of Russell? So when I say younger/older version of Russ Wilson, old Russell Wilson, but Jaren Hall is older. I'm not talking about Russ like last year. Not so much. But, Kevin O'Connell, really talked up Jaren Hall last year is the first quarterback that he and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah had drafted during their tenure. And even though, yes, the hit rate on day 3 quarterbacks outside of Tom Brady is pretty low, it happens, but Jaren Hall did give his opportunity last year. He started against the Falcons, and we'll always have that drive, man. We'll always have that drive where, so second drive of the game, he got concussed at the goal line, which I also had Jaren Hall plus 1,600 to score the first touchdown. Not that I'm bitter and still remember. But Jaren Hall, technically Jaren Hall starting quarterback for the win against the Falcons. Not saying, I'm just saying. But 5 of 6 for 78 yards, completed 83.3% of his passes, 118.8 quarterback rating, and also ran for 11 yards. And he was good. He was good distributing the football, made some big-time plays, settled down after an opening 3 and out, but it is what it is, right? And then the second game that he started was against the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers. Everyone was champing at the bit, myself included. Where Pasternak, that thing had crash landed. Nick Mullins has been whatever, but he played a half against Green Bay, got benched for Nick Mullins, and it happens, man. But 5 of 10 for 67 yards, had an interception, 32.1 quarterback rating, got sacked 3 times. So offensive line wasn't doing him any favors. He wasn't looking good. The one throw that he had an opportunity to step up in the pocket and really launch a bomb was a duck, and it's just like, that's it. That's finito. A lot of Vikings fans were out, and also we got made fun of for believing in Jaren Hall, but it is what that's what happens, man. If we believe in everyone, sometimes we'll have some misses, right? But with Jaren Hall, is there something that he can still bring? I think yes. But what's interesting is that Jaren Hall is almost the second oldest quarterback on the team. So Nick Mullins is the elder statesman at 29. Sling and Sam Darnold just turned 27 a month ago. Jaren Hall is 26 years, 3 months, and 12 days. Yeah. And then J.J. McCarthy, of course, almost 21 and a half. At what age do you stop saying half years? 10, right? Because my daughter says she's 9 and a half, which you're not going to say 10 and a half, right? I don't know. But, Jaren Hall, even though last year was sort of whatever, he looked like a rookie. He looked good on the second drive against the Falcons, but he looked bad in the first half against the Packers, right? But overall, maturity is an asset, does have an alpha attitude, does have a good deep ball. It does have a live arm, quick release, has mobility as well. Also made Puka Nacua at BYU, no big deal. And he's a guy who will put in that work. Now, do I think that Jaren Hall will rise up and be a starter somewhere in the league? No, I just don't see that happening. But we need him to be something just so we can maintain this greatest meme that we never got to use. He'd like to speak to the manager of football. But I don't know how this thing is going to play out, right? So I think likely Sam Darnold is going to be your week 1 starter. I would put that at maybe 90%. It's pretty high. Nick Mullins, can he hold on to QB2? Basically, the question is, can J.J. McCarthy, I think that he is a long shot to earn the quarterback 1 job. He may be a long shot to earn QB2 because it's not so much him. It's all part of the plan with Kevin O'Connell, where you want to have a foundation. You don't want to rush construction. You don't want to do that. There's a lot of things that McCarthy has to work on, and giving him a full year of experience to learn how to be a pro's pro could be a benefit for him. Now, with Jaren Hall, he's clearly quarterback 4. And with the 3 QBs in front of him, and especially with McCarthy, the rookie, wanting to get him as many snaps as possible, there isn't a ton of snaps out there. Like, there's very few 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 reps for Jaren Hall, and it's something that he does need to develop, right? But also, if all of a sudden you start hearing some glowing reviews from Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi or some of the coaching staff, they're trying to trade him. That's what happens, man. Where they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks on the rooster in all likelihood, and then seeing if you can get like a 7th round pick or a late round pick swap for Jaren Hall. Right? That could be a course of action. But I think with O'Connell, having guys that are familiar with the system and comfortable in it is a plus. And Jaren Hall sort of had a baptism by fire last year, and even though he doesn't get a lot of practice reps to show off his stuff, and also he probably is not going to get a lot of preseason reps either, because there's only 3 preseason games. Darnold's going to need reps because he's new to the team, even though he's likely going to be the starter. McCarthy obviously is going to get a ton of reps in preseason. Mullins, you don't really need to see Nick Mullins, but even that, like, I feel like Darnold McCarthy could split all 3 preseason games, and Jaren Hall might get might get one drive late in one of the games, or maybe a couple. But with O'Connell last year, obviously you saw the benefit of having 4 quarterbacks, right? It was just like a mess in the gong show. Now, the Vikings, if McCarthy is destined to be QB3, you're obviously not going to put him on the practice squad, so the Vikings would have to carry 3 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster. So Darnold, Mullins, and McCarthy would be on the 53. Do you keep Jaren Hall in the practice squad? It's a lot more palatable since it's expanded to 16 players on the practice squad. That's perfectly fine. But would they want to do that? I think that they would, and I think that Mullins, even though Mullins is on that career backup track and could be viable for a couple years, like, is Darnold going to be here next year? Maybe not. So does it make sense to hang on to Jaren Hall, who after this year would have 2 full seasons in the offense, and a guy, even though he's going to be 27 next year, that you feel fine as a backup quarterback? Yes. And also, if you spend a 5th round pick on a guy who's going to be a backup quarterback that you trust or that you're mildly okay with for 4 or 5 seasons, that's a win. That's a massive win. And also, he is under contract for the next 3 years on his rookie deal, so it would behoove them for him to stick around. So I do think that Jaren Hall, I'm not going to say like starter potential or star potential, obviously, but a guy that could fill a spot on the roster and play a role, because as you've seen with all the quarterback injuries last year, I mean, the two most important positions on the team might be quarterback 1 and quarterback 2. And maybe quarterback 4 is like number 10. I don't know, man. I don't know. But your thoughts are our thoughts. What's going to happen with Jaren Hall this season? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.